just take your time when you're out there. You play a big point. Look, she's bouncing the ball, super calm, taking her time before, no rushing. Everybody chill. All right, here we go. Talk to me, CJ.
Okay. So one last thing I would say about that, I wanted to add something. I always try, and I don't care if this is rec play or tournament play, I always try and make eye contact with my partner and just say, hey, just an eye contact, just an acknowledgement, because I don't want my partner ever feeling bad, like they screwed up. Right. Right. I want to be their biggest booster and give them confidence. And I think that was a good thing they did. They looked at each other, they reset the point. So yeah,
agreed 100%. And listen, there's actually something that I do that I'll share with everybody. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not a huge reveal, but like I have a tendency when I'm playing doubles, if I miss a ball, I'll say sorry to my partner. It just comes out like I don't even think about it, and I'll go back to Coach Pete. You guys listen to our podcast. I think it's a really good podcast, Pickleball Therapy with Coach Peter Scales. Anyway, he basically said, don't say sorry. And it's not don't say sorry because you're not sorry. That's not the right way to look at it. It's your partner knows you're sorry. Obviously, you don't want to miss that ball. And it's not you. And this is something that it's not you and another player, right? So it's not CJ and I playing on a court as two people. It's CJ and I playing as a team. So my miss is her miss, basically. Same thing. My winner is her winner, right? So, So this sorry thing, I'm trying to break it up. Actually, the other day I told my friend, I'm like, sorry for saying sorry, after I said sorry. So, but you know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. Saying sorry and don't, you shouldn't feel bad or feel particularly fantastic. You work together. If it's good, it's because you both played well. If it's bad, it's because you both, did something wrong. Like the right-handed Kawamoto, come on back. All right, let's check out this rally here. So we have a little bit of a drive here.
Which I think is out.
Probably. But the curious thing is this drive here, right? And people ask me about these kind of drives. This drive here, just so you know, the left-handed Kawamoto has no fantasy that this drive is going to win the rally. She just, for whatever reason, didn't like the return and didn't want to try a third shot here or a long dink here. So this is a point extender, a rally extender is all this is. And then you have the right-handed Kawamoto trying to stay alive here. There was a lot of wind that day. If you guys ever see videos of this, it was crazy wind. I wasn't crazy about that shot. But see the left-handed Kawamoto, right? Doesn't like it. Look what she does. She comes back, reset, right? Come back, get in position, and then move forward again. Don't just stay up because, if you're part of the trouble. So now they're back, and now they're basically like nothing's happened. It's basically like I'm hitting my third shot right now. The last shots nothing happened. Now I hit my nice third shot. Now I'm in, right? Which is what I want. This shot here, guys, is probably, I think this is probably the most difficult shot in pickleball, in my opinion.
Falling backwards. Yeah.
Falling and the backhand middle dink.
Yep.
Because this shot here, it's so prone to error. And I think it's a super difficult shot here. And look at, I think Lee's so happy she hit that over. She's like, wow, I got it over. It's good. And now you have the Kawamotos attacking, right? Because what does Kawamoto see here? Right?
They're off the line.
Space.
Yep.
Now here, I'm gonna go to bat for Catherine here, because what Catherine sees is Catherine's doing a good job. See how Catherine's looking at the ball, right? So she's looking down here at the shot that Lee's hitting. She sees that ball float and goes, uh-oh, right? So instead of just standing there and eating the ball, she takes a step back to try and defend against the impending Kawamoto attack. Allows her to basically come back and defend. This is just, I'm trying to stay alive.
Yep.
Sorry, she's not trying to win anything here. She's trying to stay alive. Works out okay for her. Now, I was curious about this. She didn't take a step over, but I guess she has enough balance, so that's fine. So we have the left-handed Kawamoto still playing off the line a little too much, right? I do like this idea, right? This is a really nice shot, I think. Mm-hmm. Because it's recognition of strengths and weaknesses. You don't want to play leader or forehand, so you play it to her backhand, right? And plus, what's Lee going to do with this ball? It's going to hurt you. Probably nothing. Right.
And Lee has a tendency when she hits that backhand, she likes to let it bounce a little bit more often than she will on that forehand side, right? So that's her. That's if you're playing her, you already know that. Now she does a great job of coming back up to the line, but it may, again, this goes back to, can I force an error? Probably a little bit more on that side versus the other side.
Correct. And you're also not going to be subject to attack. That's the thing to me.
Exactly.
So here, Catherine Catherine's been dinking pretty calmly, right? But she comes in and then decides to maybe push the action a little bit, see what happens. and challenges. The good thing about this shot here is he challenges the Kawamoto's backhand side and then gets a little pop up there. The wind was crazy. That's nuts. But see the middle attack there again. What Lee does here is she sees middle, boom.
And what I'd argue with here is, again, so I really like, this is the first time I've seen how the Kawamoto sisters play. Mm-hmm. I think when they start to learn more about moving together as a team, because what I see on them, they got a lot of raw talent, but they were, as an example, in these 2 points anyway, they were out of position sevevel times, right, which allowed Catherine and Lee to capitalize on it. Right there were a couple times some crossover steps, some turning perpendicular to the net versus staying parallel. When they learn how to defend that court a little bit better, these girls are quick.
Right. And apparently they're triplets is what I hear. I know they have a brother too, but I didn't realize they're triplets. So there's a brother who's a sick, good player and the 2 sisters. So yeah, they're very, very good players. So we had a question here, CJ, let me see if I can answer real quick. It's basically, they tell me not to step back from the line for defense. I love that question or comment because it allows me to explain something that I think is important, which is you have to play pickleball the way that makes sense for you to play pickleball. There's some sort of like rules in pickleball that are like no debate, like get up to the NVZ after you return serve. My students have heard me say that so many times they're tired of it, but that's like an inviolable rule of pickleball. But like how you defend, that's up to you. Like if you have really fast hands and you can just, battle, then stay up there and battle. If you need more time, then take more time. I take more time because I need more time and I defend better when I take a step off the line. So this idea that like you have to stay on the line no matter what is not one of the inviolable rules of pickleball, in my opinion. What do you think, CJ?
I kind of agree with that. I think the other thing is, you'll see this. I can tell you in mixed doubles. Mm-hmm. So in mixed doubles and lately my partners have been like 20 years younger than I am. They've been young enough to be my son. So they're faster than I am. Mm-hmm. And my rule with them is you need to cover 3/4 of the court. If I'm going to play down, you're covering 3/4 of the court. In order to allow them to do that, I need to step back off the line just a little bit. Right. But because they're so fast, I can do that. Would I do that with a player who wasn't as quick? Maybe not. Am I going to do that with my women's doubles player? Probably not. So the answer is, unfortunately, it depends, right? I mean, who's your partner? How do you feel? Those types of things. It's different in every situation. You got to find out what works for you.
Right. I mean, everybody plays differently. Everybody, some people have a better forehand, some people have a better backhand. You play with what tools you have. Now you can always try and improve. I'm trying to improve my counter punch speed by using the other hand to keep the paddle out there. So that's something I'm working on, but that's my game, right? I'm not going to suggest to everybody that's how you have to do it. So anyway, I think those are some really helpful points, CJ. Going after the movement, I think is critical in any part of the game. Particularly at the NBZ, but any part of the game, the movement's important. The body flick is just a little technique you can try and bring into your game. You can use it off of bounce sometimes or out of the air. The idea is to get the ball into the body. And as CJ mentioned, the weakest is shoulder.
In-depth pickleball analysis like this at VIPickleball. We are pickleball.com.
What you want to do, though, is you want to make sure that the balls never, ever, ever bounce here.
Find out more about VIPickleball by visiting wearepickleball.com. You can try out VIPickleball risk-free. You're going to want to be a part of this community.